Who is responsible for this recent trend of racism?
I mean, would you use the N word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
I do, quite frankly.
You use the N word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the N word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you? Are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that being like, oh, we're gonna get a race war. If there was a race war, you wouldn't win. Okay. First of all, you might have plenty of guns, but you don't know how to shoot them. You think this is how you shoot guns. You think this is how you shoot a pistol. That's not. I know you saw that in a movie and you thought it looked cool. And you saw your favorite fucking rapper doing that, but that's not how you aim and shoot a gun. The only reason blacks have not exterminated themselves in the hood, because black on black violence is insane and through the roof, is because they're such horrible shots.
So Hitler said even in his death he will start World War III. One of his soldiers asked how. Hitler replied, "The day mankind finds out what I was trying to defend this nation from, then that's the day World War III will start. For on that day mankind will learn that I was trying to save my nation from the free..."
Speak to me.
Are you guys illegal immigrants?
Do I look illegal?
Excuse me?
Why
What makes you think I'm
It
illegal?
does matter. You don't belong here. Let me see your ID. Let me just stay in our country. You have to
Constantly on my social media feed, I see a bunch of different ethnicities being attacked in a stereotypical way or in a physical way or whatever it is. I see a bunch of racist stuff more than I've ever seen before, to a point where it's now becoming a physical thing. Whilst it's nothing to fear about, it does make me question on who is responsible for this racist movement that's being perpetuated in our days in our society. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, like brutally honest with you guys. I never like talking about race because I feel like there's a lot of stupid arguments and a lot of victim mentality hitting within the problems to do with racism and things of that nature, because generally it's not a majority case. However, a lot of people seem to want to look for a problem or dig as if they're a victim of something, when really life isn't like that in reality. It might be like that on social media, but if you go out and touch grass, it's not as bad as people try to describe it to be. So I never like talking about race. I'm not in support of Black Lives Matter or any of these civil rights whatever BS, because we're past those times. However, when I need to talk about it, I will talk about it. And I'm not going to play about it, because whilst it may not be the majority case, it's still very real. It's still very alive. And despite it not doing well while it's being alive, it's still there. And to ignore it would be ignorance and arrogance. So we're going to talk about it today. Last year, August, something weird happened. There was this thing going on with a bunch of white people saying that they're going to storm a bunch of cities near my area and eventually land on my one and attack black people for whatever reason. They did that for 3 cities but failed miserably because police and local black people were involved. And then a few others came to our area as well. However, they were too pussy to actually finish off the job because, again, black people and police officers were ready to fight them off. Now, for me, I found it funny, but also kind of like sad. Like, how could you as an individual think that you're gonna do something that stupid, like target a group of people, and think you're gonna win for whatever brainwashed idea you have in your head that justifies you doing that? It was never gonna be successful. But fast forward to present day, you know, and all the things that have happened from August to now in May this year, 2025. It's interesting to see how much this thing has grown, I guess. But for me, I'm in the mindset that it's never grown. This is actually just the same level of racism that I've been seeing for a few years. The only difference is that a lot of people were hiding, but now people are coming out saying that they are proud racists. No shocker for me. I know racism is there, I know it's alive, and I know it's not doing well, but it's alive. I mean, it's doing something, but never bothered me. But why is it going on? Why are there a group of people naturally deciding that, hey, this group of people are the problem, and we are going to take it upon ourselves to purge them and attack them on whatever it is? They're not even thinking of how to pay their bills. They're not even thinking of what to do with their lives or advance themselves or do better with themselves. Instead, they're thinking of attacking a group of people. This young lady went on Piers Morgan's show the other day proclaiming a bunch of racist things, and I've been seeing her on social media. You know, whether she's doing it for rage bait or whatever it is, there's no doubt that she's getting people talking because, well, she's just naturally stupid. You know, and a lot of people are claiming that she's right because it's freedom of speech and this, that, and the third, and X, Y, and Z. And for me, it's like, I never understand this argument with freedom of speech. Like, you just want to be allowed to say whatever you want and have no consequences. That's interesting to me because I think we can all agree that there is no problem in saying what you want to say in this life. Nobody can actually stop you from saying what you want to say. No one can actually put sellotape over your mouth. Heck, no one can actually do anything to you. However, actions have consequences. If I go out now and I start attacking a Jewish person for who they are and saying a bunch of anti-Semitic things, I'm going to get in trouble. You feel me? If someone comes to me and starts attacking me and saying a bunch of racist things to me, they're going to get in trouble. Whether it be physically or career-wise or whatever it is, there's consequences for every action. And that's life. You have to deal with that. I am all for free speech because I believe that people should reveal their true colors so that we know who we're dealing with. However, it becomes cowardly and pussyo in mentality to think that you can go around saying whatever you want to say and think no one's going to do anything about it. Yes, say what you want to say, but you're probably going to get punched in the mouth. And you're now arguing that, well, I should be allowed to say that without getting punched in the mouth or arrested or whatever it is. Sounds to me that you're entitled and stupid overall. This trend is so insane to me because out of all things to bring forward, people are really trying to be racist again. And, you know, although it's a lot of talk in the news and whatever it is, we have to remember that as people that are actually not racist, of course we're going to see this on the media because it's shamed, it's deemed upon. But a lot of people I can understand are scared. A lot of people are in fear. And I'm here to tell you, my friend, no matter how much noise they're talking on social media or the media, the majority is not on that wavelength of racism. So don't worry and don't panic. For the most part, a lot of you will be safe. And there's going to be consequences. There's people out there to make sure that these racists don't get their way. So this whole thing where you see people saying, oh, we're going to take over the world and we're going to bring racism back. It's like, no, we're not. That's definitely not going to happen. World leaders won't allow, nobody's going to allow that to happen. So don't panic. Don't worry. Whoever you are watching this, everything's going to be okay. I promise you. Racism is not coming back. However, we do need to do more in publicly shaming people like this and really getting them blacklisted and cancelled. Not because cancel culture is all this kind of like whatever is bullying type of thing, but it's generally because I believe that us as the people need to show consequences for people's actions. It's all fair and dandy to just know that something is bad, but we need to start reporting these pages. We need to start, you know, calling these people out, reporting them to authorities or whatever it is. A lot of you guys may think that reporting is not going to do anything, but when you blacklist somebody and really restrict their movements, it can be frustrating no matter how much you want to put a brave bravado or act as if they're all macho and everything like that. Once your job is at stake and finances aren't coming through and you're blacklisted and everybody knows your digital footprint, all the crap that you've done, yeah, it's going to be hard for you to move around and actually advance in this life. So it's just interesting to me that people think they can get away with this with no consequences, but really and truly, we as the people have the power to punish people like this, even if it's just a small thing or putting them on blast on social media. These things need to be counter-attacked significantly. You know, I know it's fair to say, oh, we have to physically do something, but I don't want a lot of you guys going to jail. So let's try and do things the correct, proper way, where we actually get people, you know, punished for these kind of things. Because it comes to a point where it's like, if someone's racist to you, yeah, you may be able to be in your rights to hit the person, but you just never know how the court systems go. It's always best to blacklist and restrict them fully. Now, earlier in the video, I mentioned what happened near my area about racism and people coming into different cities near my area and actually coming into my city to try and do things and X, Y, and Z. And I really put that in context because I can't stress enough how much it is important to limit and put these people on blast and publicly shame them for what they are doing. Because whilst I can protect myself and whilst I can find this funny and whilst I can protect my family, it breaks my heart knowing that there could be an innocent black kid or an innocent black mother walking through that town. Like, imagine they've walked through that town and a group of racists just come and they start antagonizing, shouting slurs, all kinds of things like that nature, you know? it breaks my heart knowing that people who can't defend themselves, and it's funny, it's always interesting because racists always attack people. It's bullying. They always attack people who can't defend themselves. They're never gonna go for someone who could actually fight. You feel what I'm saying? I have my whole share of racisms back in my younger days. I've fought loads of racists, loads of stupid people. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I can know how to protect myself, but knowing that there's people out there who can't defend themselves, it breaks my heart because it's like some people are crazy. Some people are generally in the mindset of, I'm going to see this black child, I'm going to see this black woman, I'm going to see this black family and just attack them or do whatever it is. That is disgusting. And I never understand how someone can be racist, because I always think of it in the ways like you start off with the children. You think of the children first. The child doesn't know any better. The child just wants to go and have fun. And you see a mother who can't defend herself. And you see a father who's trying to look out for his family. You really just going to look at a whole group of people and attack? Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's just black people who get attacked, because I don't like it talking about race when it's just about just black people. You feel what I'm saying? Because I feel every ethnicity gets their fair share of racism. We see it with Chinese people, we see it with Indian people as of recently, we see it with black people, Jewish people, X, Y, Z. I blame the media, because the media also, the media plays a part in the narratives that are built, the social narratives that are built for these type of cultures. They build the narrative that Asians don't like black people. They build the narrative that black people are thugs. They build the narrative that Jewish people are X, Y, and Z. They build the narrative that Indian people are smelly or whatever it is. They build the narrative that Muslims and Arab people are X, Y, and Z. And then they come back afterwards, talking about, racist attacks, everything at X, Y, and Z. But you're literally pushing out the media that talks about these majority cases. You never talk about anything positive. You never talk about anything constructive. It's always destruction and bad things happening. So how would people that are not capable of thinking with common sense gonna see that? Of course they're gonna see this and be like, the Muslims are the problem, the Jewish people are the problem, the blacks are the problem. Like, you keep pushing out negative stuff. This is why I so hate the media, whether it be TV shows or whether it be the news, whatever it is. You keep pushing out a narrative and then are surprised when people cling on to that narrative and act according to the narrative, that start treating people according to the narrative that you've created. It doesn't make any sense. This is how people hate each other. When you put up something online saying black teen responsible for stabbing or whatever it is, but never talk about black teen who's actually does something constructive for the community, that's going to build a negative perception. When you talk about immigrants coming into the country and gang raped a woman, we're not talking about how immigrants actually contribute financially to most countries that they go into. People are going to think immigrants are the problem. We talk about Indian men or X, Y, and Z do this, that, and the third. People are going to have a narrative about Indians, and so on and so forth. It never makes any sense to me how the media will be the biggest weapon against humanity, but then also try and act as if they are defending. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it pains my heart, but it's the facts of the matter that people don't have common sense, because common sense is actually not that common. Ooh, surprise. So I wonder why it's called common. It shouldn't really be called common sense anymore, because people are actually like not capable of having it on a common basis. So let's just call it rare sense now. I'm going to start calling it rare sense, you feel? Because I've run into so little people who are capable of common sense. But it's sad, because people who have no part in these stereotypes or these minority cases, people that have no part in these minority cases, are always going to get the back end of the stick. Someone who's not part of that stereotype, who's simply just trying to live life normally, is going to be attacked by someone who watched the news, has been put through the fear specter of all the type of propaganda that they want you to see, and now they're going to damage someone who's innocent. Now, I'm not condoning anything in the sense that, like, common sense shouldn't be a self-taught thing. I feel like generally as an individual, you should be responsible for your understanding of things and your comprehension of things, in the sense that you understand that there's not a majority case. They're just reporting about something that's happened. However, let's not pretend like the media doesn't play a part in trying to brainwash people. There's two parts that play a negative contribution to that, in the sense that media purposely identifies the race to build a narrative, and individuals are silly enough to believe that that's the majority case of things. But there's two things to blame than the media. This actually brings me on to my next point: the people. I think we as a society, for the most part, most people are incapable of thinking for themselves. I think most people lack the power to look at a situation as an individual situation or see something for what it really is rather than what the media want you to believe it is, right? They internalize the things they see on TV and internalize the things they see on their phones, but never consider the everyday things that they go about experiencing. For example, I'm a black man living in this, world and stuff like that. I can count on two hands how many racist situations that I've been in, right? It's not been a lot. So I'm able to look around and see, oh, I got some white friends here. I got a good white person that's there. I got a good few Indian friends and black friends, X, Y, Z. You feel what I'm saying? I'm able to see that, I do admit that there was a point in time where I would see situations and then hate the whole race because I assumed that they were all like that because I ran to a few situations. But as I grow older, I'm able to look at that now and be like, that was just that bad batch of people. That was that bad batch of people because, spoiler alert, there's bad people everywhere. Whether you're a Christian or a Jew or a black person or a Muslim or an Indian or whatever it is, there's bad people everywhere. I've seen bad people in the church. I've seen very bad black people. I've seen very bad white people. I've seen very bad Jewish people, whatever it is. I've seen very bad people. But I'd be stupid to sit there and think that it's everybody. Like, come on, like, what did the kids do to me? What did the mother do to me? What did the father do to me? There's a lot of situations where you go about life and you realize that I'm actually okay. I actually go to my job safely and come back home safely. I actually have a good community around me. When you start to realize that your life is actually okay, a majority of the time is safe, you start to be able to, number one, count your blessings. Number two, realize that you can't use the minority situations to determine the overall consensus. Yes, racism is a real thing, but let's us as people have the comprehension and understanding and the ability to look and realize that this is not the majority case situation. Most black people are not being targeted by police. Most black people are not being attacked by white people. Most Jewish people are not bad people. There are a lot of Jewish people who are good people. Most Indians don't hate black people and most Indians don't smell. It's just there's a bad batch that you see somewhere. Most Chinese people or Asian people don't hate black people. All these things that you see, these narratives that you see all over social media, they are not the majority case. There may be shared experience and certain situations that happen, but overall, it's not the majority case. I think us as people have a poor understanding and ability to be able to look at that from a minority case view, because we see all this propaganda and we internalize a lot of things. It's like you having a bunch of good things in your life, but that one bad thing, you use that to destroy the enormous amount of good things in life. And I think that's very disrespectful to a lot of things in life. You cannot be, as an individual, that close-minded, that stupid, and that silly to believe that the bad is more than the good. There is more good than bad, and bad's gonna happen. So what? Like, we have to build tough skin about that. Victim mentality is the belief that you can never do any wrong, or something that you're vouching for can never do any wrong, and any bad that happens to you is simply because you're a victim and X, Y, and Z. I can understand a lot of people have been a victim of something, but you are not a victim in general. And I feel like that clinging on to the victim mentality has made a lot of people very smooth-brained and silly. For example, two very disappointing situations that I saw was, for example, the Carmelo Anthony case where he stabs that white boy and everything like that, And there was this big discourse online saying that we as black people have to look out for ourselves and X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third. But really, when you look at the situation, it's just two high schoolers who got into a stupid argument and one took it too far. I would say that both of them were stupid in their decisions, but someone was definitely worse than the other in the sense that someone actually passed away. But what I saw on social media was black people acting like this is a race thing. When really it's a high school stupidity thing. It's a much more simpler matter than a larger matter of race, whatever it is. And people turn it into a race war, white people and black people. I was so disappointed with what I saw. People trying to lead with this narrative as if that's what was actually happening. Someone lost their life and people are thinking to make a GoFundMe page to support the guy's law case and stuff like that. It's absolutely insane to even think that that was okay. But for example, when the movie Sinners came out, people out here saying like, oh, the movie Sinners is about black power and stuff like that. And yes, that may be the narrative and everything like that. But then people are actually using it as a reason to like go against white people and X, Y, and Z. And it's like, why do things have to go that far? Like, why do things have to always extend to that extreme standard? You know? And it's not just black people that do this. It's a lot of other races and a lot of other people that do it, you know. White people, you'll see, you know, a situation and then be like, oh, it's the immigrants, it's the black people, this is why we have to get rid of all of them, you know. It's that stupidity, that stupid mindset of seeing something and then taking it to the extreme that always baffles me with people. And they say that they're smart, they say that they are good members of society, they say that they have a brain. You don't have a brain if you think that way. You just don't. Like, I don't even know how people are even trying to debate this. You don't have a brain if you look at things like that are in the minority situation and think to yourself, yes, the whole race is the problem. The whole thing is the problem. It's just a select amount of people. Most people have good intention. Most people just want to live their lives and go about their business. But it doesn't help when you start to internalize and think that the whole group of people is bad. And they go so far, the brainwashing goes so far to the point where even if something is undeniably not a race thing, people will spin it just to satisfy that narrative in their head. It's stupid. And that's why I'm saying a lot of people, if you're an individual who does that, watching this, whether you're black, white, Asian, Indian, whatever it is, I'm talking of black people because I'm a black person. I've seen what's been going on, you know, even as a Christian as well. You see a lot of Christians say that they're victims of X, Y, and Z. And whilst, yes, some Christians are victims, a lot of people are okay with Christians, number one. And number two, we see a lot of Christians doing things that don't help their case in the first place. You know, there's a lot of Christians who do a lot of stupidity and things of that nature, but they're the minority. Overall, though, we have to understand that there's bad apples everywhere, whether it be in black, Jewish, white, X, Y, Z, there's bad apples everywhere. But most of us are good, upstanding citizens. We care for each other. We have humanity within us. We look out for each other. We love each other. We want to be there for each other because we all understand that despite of our color, race, religion, political perspective, we are human beings. We are human beings. It doesn't matter if someone's a conservative or a liberal, right? Not everyone is thinking of being a conservative in a racist way. Not everyone's thinking of liberal in a weird way either. Most people are just there because, oh, I kind of agree with it. It's never that deep. You feel what I'm saying? People need to have that ability to look at minority situations and see like, oh, that's a bad situation. Look out for people like that, but it's not the whole Christians or the whole Muslims, you know? Life has really humbled me in the sense that I used to have this arrogant mindset, you know, this belief that it was certain groups of people or certain religions or certain whatever it is that are the problem. However, God really did an interesting thing in my life where he flipped a lot of things over my head. For example, I hate a certain type of Nigerians called Yoruba people, but my girlfriend is Yoruba. One of my best friends is Yoruba as well. Or I had a beef with Zimbabwean people in Africa. One of my best friends is Zimbabwean. You feel what I'm saying? Or like I had beef with white people. One of my best friends is white people. You feel me? Or, you know, just a bunch of things. And then I see all of this now. I'm like, oh, Christians can never do no wrong. And then I see what happens in the church and things of that nature, you know? And once I start looking at all these situations, I'm like, oh, okay. It's not a group of people. There's no, oh, this group of people is bad, but you're an exception. No, it's bad people everywhere. That's what it is. And that's where people have to hold themselves accountable. Stop thinking it's everybody. There's just bad people in certain groups of places. And that's just what it is, you feel me? All Muslims are bad. My mechanic, he's Muslim. He's the best, one of the best guys I know. You know, they're all a Muslim group of people, you know. We don't have the same religion, but they're good people. You feel me? I was straddling the highway the other day, and you know, whilst I see a lot of Muslim people saying a bunch of crap online and stuff like that, I'm not gonna say I think Muslims are bad intentions. You feel what I'm saying? We may not agree in religious wise, but that Muslim man saw me stranded. I was stranded 40 minutes away from my hometown. You feel me? Flat tire and everything like that. I called him up. I said, yo, bro, I need you up. He drove all the way. 40 minutes. Early in the morning, I woke him up from his sleep, and he came. Changed my tire, helped me out, and he charged me a good price for that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, stop being so stupid. Go outside, touch grass, and experience human life, and you'll realize that's not everybody. I encourage all of you to remove yourself from the victim mentality mindset, because that's actually what's causing this mentality of feeling that it's the whole group. Like, look at what Kanye West is doing. Look at what that person on Piers Morgan's show is doing, you know? It's actually disgusting to be that narrow-minded and that stupid. Let's do better as people and not cling on to these titles or these, you know, political stances or groups or things of that nature because you feel a sense of belonging. You have to hate other people. No, just be a good human being and be better and love everyone around you. I know it sounds kumbaya and stuff like that, but that's literally what it is. Go and experience different human beings and you come to find out that, oh, there's just bad apples in every place, but there's also good people in every place. Therefore, I'm not going to make a judgment on a group of people. Like, that's just what it is. So yeah, man, like, media is definitely the problem, but I think we as individuals need to see the BS. We need to hold ourselves accountable and do better, you know, and really look inwards and realize that maybe I have a problem with understanding. Maybe I have a problem with being on my phone too much. Maybe I have a problem with being on the TV too much. Maybe I have a problem looking at things way deeper than they actually are. Maybe I'm a perpetual victim mentality person. Maybe I think I'm a victim in every situation, and I actually need to change that. Maybe I need to do better at actually, you know, not giving into the narrative that I'm suffering, I'm a victim. Maybe I need to actually go out there and talk to other people. Maybe I need to do better at understanding different cultures and X, Y, and Z. Like, that's just mainly what it is. There is no excuse for ignorance and lack of common sense. Whilst that is the majority of cases, that's the reality of cases. If you're an individual watching this, there is no excuse, zero excuse to be that stupid. Get educated, get better, get interactive with people around you, and you come to find out the truth of what's really going on. There's lies in the media and there's bad people everywhere, but that doesn't talk for the majority of cases, which is most people are good people. With that being said, my people, God bless. I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But let me know about your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Talk to me about experiences that made you realize that you were a bit ignorant, because like I said, I realized I was a bit ignorant in some issues. I realized I was very close-minded and narrow-minded, X, Y, and Z, you know. But there's experiences, I like to hear different experiences that was your light bulb moment, like, oh, maybe I'm just being stupid or narrow-minded. Really looking forward to hearing from you guys. Take care, bye.